Hi everyone, this is Dr. Hema Patil, working as Associate Professor at Vishweshwara Technological University, Mysuru. I welcome all of you for today's subject, Principles of Marketing. Let us explore how this marketing is, how exactly companies are developing their marketing strategies in detail in the upcoming classes. Let me begin with Module 1. Let us try to understand the introduction of this Module 1. Now, this if we take, marketing is powerhouse driving business in today's fast-paced world. Why do we call it as powerhouse? Today if we look at, marketing is one which is connecting the products and to the needs of the consumers. Marketing is one which is mediating in between what exactly to be produced by the marketers and how exactly to be produced by the marketers to according to the needs of the consumers. It is acting like key link between companies and their target audience. It is acting like key link. Why it is acting like key link? We can see here marketing is one which is knowing what is in the mind of the consumers and that could able to enable the marketers really to come up with their products. Marketing is also viewed as a process. In this fast paced dynamic world, if we take the act of business, it makes the marketers to navigate from what is being expected by consumers to produce the same and to supply. Here utilizing in this fast paced world, utilizing this marketing, they could able to navigate. We are calling it as research process. In this we are calling it as process because it involves research, planning, execution and analysis to effectively showcase their products. For example, like here if we take research to company begins with their products basically by knowing consumers. How do they know the consumers? They know the consumers through research, and research is one with the help of which they could able to study what is that need to be addressed by the marketer, which can be converted into the product and which they could able to inculcate all the aspects in the products as being expected by consumers, and they could able to supply to the consumers. And while supplying it is not that easy. When is that they are willing to purchase the product? Where is that they are willing to purchase the product? How is that they are willing to purchase the product? Everything should have to be planned right from the time of production till it is being consumed. All the sequences are to be planned, and after planning that is to be executed, and all these are to be analyzed effectively. Then only it will be possible for the marketers to showcase their product right at the moment required by consumers in the market. Hence this marketing is a process, and in this process, in the journey of this subject, we are trying to understand the process, what all happens in this process, all the contents which are involved in this process, we are trying to understand in this subject. Then marketing is one which is helping in building connection. It is not just earlier it was believed that marketing is something like selling. It is not something like selling, but marketing is one which is building lasting relationship in the form of friendship with the customers. Now what is happening? Why do consumers need this product is being understood by marketers, and the same need is to be made felt by the consumers. How do they do it? After producing the product, to reach this information to the consumers, they develop stories, and they are trying to reach their stories by resonating, and from which they could able to enhance the trust of the consumers, and ultimately that builds the loyalty. What does it mean? If we take for example, let us say a soap manufacturing company is trying to address the needs, and once when it is trying to address the needs, it is realized what is that need exactly to be taken. For example, like we have seen during the COVID time, this Lifebuoy could able to come up with the concept that it is the only product which could able to kill the germs, which could able to keep us free from COVID virus. Now they have come up with the story that this soap, how it is affecting during the time of COVID-19. Now as a reason of which we have realized that this is one such soap which has a quality in it which can really protect us even during the situation of COVID-19. Now that story they could able to come up with, that story was resonated, and that story is one which has created to enhance the trust in the consumers. Ultimately by today if we look at post COVID, after realizing, after really protecting ourselves using that Lifebuoy soap, Now we could able to become loyal to that particular soap even in future also. If we wanted to keep ourselves free from such germs, then we would like to purchase the same soap. Then that establishes brand loyalty. Now this building connection, company, it is not enough once when it is producing goods. But after producing goods, the information has to be reached. Consumers are to be persuaded to purchase the product, and from which consumers are being made to habituate with the product, which ultimately creates repeated purchase to the consumers. And from which the whatever aim organization had, it could able to fulfill. Now that's how this building connection is possible. Marketing is one which connects company with that of consumers at both the end by knowing what is needed by consumers, convincing the same to the market company, from which the company could able to come up with marketing strategies. Again they could able to resonate with the help of that to reach the consumers. Now as we were discussing, this marketing is very much dependent on marketing research. Now market research lies as the foundation, and it is very akin to the detectives work, like how detectives usually work. Similarly, even people in marketing also have to work, because they need to know what is being liked by consumers. Right now there are already existing products in the market. Now what are the needs being addressed by those existing products in the market? Then to what need that they are supposed to cater in? Where is that gap lying? If at all there is no gap lying, then there is no scope for companies to come up with their product, because fighting already an established marketer is not that easy. Hence, like a detective, they have to find out where is that gap lying, and they have to come up with the same, where business delves into understanding consumer preferences through data analysis. This using marketing research, all the information is to be collected, and after collecting the information, they need to understand how are these preferences are being analyzed, and from which further directions are being given, so that company could able to produce the good. There is an interaction of information to the targeted campaign. Now at both the end, like at the time of production, they need data, what is to be produced, how much is to be produced, when is to be produced. Then again, once when the products are ready, to reach the information that products are available in the market, using which consumers can really satisfy their need. Consumer can address their need, again for which they need to come up with promotional strategies, like they can come up with campaigns, they can come up with advertisements, and using all such information could able to reach the consumers and could able to sell the product to the consumers. Then the very act of marketing looks like an art. There is an art involved in marketing. Why do we say it is an art? Where marketers armed with consumers' insights becomes artists. Now once when marketers using research, they have understood what is being liked by consumers or what is being expected by consumers, now the same has to be inculcated into the form of product that has to be developed. Exactly, the product should reach to the expectation of the people who are willing to see it in the form of product. Now to all this, it becomes a kind of artistic work, where they have to craft, they have to see that information being converted into products. Then that information should reach back to the consumers that product is ready. Again, for which messages are to be developed, advertisements are to be developed, using which attention is needed, is to be grabbed towards the product, where that is going to build deep connection with the individuals, and ultimately that is creating a sort of offering of solution to attain their preferences. Preferences come to the company trying to sell the product, and to the consumers trying to purchase the product and to solve whatever needs which are to be addressed by them. Now hence the work of marketing also looks like art. Then we are at the age of digital era. Then there is an impact of this digital aspects even on the business, and we have seen especially during this pandemic situation. Now this digital age has revolutionized the entire marketing, because earlier it was like we have to go to physically to the market and we have to purchase everything, spend a lot of time there, energy there, effort there. But today it is not the situation. We are not moving, sitting at the place, we are purchasing. There are online platforms, and using these online platforms, consumers are purchasing. And to the companies, along with purchasing, along with the products are being sold, company also could able to collect the data. Using that data, they can come up with analytical solutions, and those where they are applying analytical aspects. They are trying to analyze what is the pattern of consumers, how they are purchasing, how they are making the choices. Now this analytical aspects also plays a vital role to the marketer, where decision making is further being empowered because of this online platforms, because of these analytical tools which are available today. Hence social media, search engines and e-commerce platforms are integral components which are enabling real-time engagement and personalized approaches, and hence as a reason of which company has got its physical marketing in which it is selling, and at the same time it also has got its virtual marketing on online also it is selling. And the platforms for sales, we have a lot of social medias like we have Facebook, Instagram, WhatsApp, whatnot. Using all these and again connecting these platforms through the search engines, and using e-commerce platforms where they could able to sell their showcase their products. They could able to inform consumers regarding the products, and they could able to sell those products, and this is enabling them to really engage consumers in the real time, where immediately consumers are being grabbed, and the pattern of consumers are being observed, based on which decisions can be made. Now this looks more personalized in the approach of marketing to the company, from the company to the consumers, where that personalized approach which was not earlier possible, now it is really possible and being empowered because of this digital impact, using which company could able to really come up with lot of such decisions where they can really analyze the pattern of consumers. So that is with the digital age impact we could able to see, along with physical market, even virtual market is also enabling marketers. Then put together, if we are trying to say there is a comprehensive marketing strategy quite possible today, that if we look at marketing transcends where transaction encompassing product development, pricing, distribution and promotion. And if we look at the entire work which marketing is doing, it is trying to transcend from simply merely transaction earlier, simply goods were produced and were being sold. If at all we are taking 100 years before, there was no concept of economics, demand or anything as such. And today if we look at, we are not simply producing. Earlier producing good were difficult, and today it is not that situation. We could able to produce what is being liked, and we could able to develop a product according to the needs of the consumers, and we could able to come up with the right pricing which is being accepted by consumers, and we could able to reach the right location required by consumers, and we also could able to reach the information to the consumers very well compared to earlier situation. Hence a well crafted marketing strategy aligns organizational objectives with consumer needs for sustainable growth and enduring success. Well crafted marketing strategy, well crafted, it means sufficiently studying the needs of consumers, inculcating that in the development of the product, producing completely almost as being expected by the consumers, and trying to reach the same product to the consumers, where ultimately they could able to fulfill the needs of the consumers, from which organizational objectives are being established, like making profit. And hence thereafter, once when product is brought closer to the need of the consumers, consumers' willingness increases, and that brings sustained growth to the organization. Thereafterwards, consumers start liking the product, they start giving positive word of mouth, and they start purchasing repeatedly, from which brand loyalty is being established, and that creates sustainable growth to the organization, and that goes on as an enduring success to the organization always.